Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Hello and welcome into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I am your host tonight, Cassidy Wood. Guys, what an electric day of college basketball we've had. Just so many upsets that we didn't see coming, including a game that's going on right now, BYU taking on Wisconsin, and BYU just looking so dominant in this one. I think a lot of brackets are going to be busted after this one if BYU can hang on. I'm joined alongside tonight Jason Mackey, the wonderful Jason Mackey. Now, my bracket actually did get busted. St. John's, talk about an upset. I just really did not see that coming, Jace. Just St. John's going down. I think a lot of people picked them to go pretty far. I had them winning it all. Just such an unfortunate loss for them.
Yeah, I had them going to the Final Four. My bracket's not busted, but it's not looking good. I'm pretty sure my bracket was doomed the minute I filled it out. Not terribly encouraged. For an NCAA tournament that has gone pretty much according to chalk so far, you'd think some of us would be doing better, Cassidy. But, yeah, it's the way it goes. Couple more tonight. I'm sure we'll fare terribly.
Yeah, now I did want to mention Robert Morris, just talk a little bit about them. I had the pleasure of being in Cleveland the last 2 days, and you know, it was so awesome, Jason, just seeing the amount of support that came out to, support Bobby Moe. It was hundreds and hundreds of people. I believe they had 800 allotted tickets for Robert Morris fans, but there was way more than 800 Robert Morris fans in there. And then what was cool is, how the tournament works is you buy your ticket for session 1 or 2 for that day. So people who were maybe going to the later game were there watching Bobby Moe in Alabama because they wanted to watch both games, and they were cheering for Bobby Moe. I mean, it got to a point where they're in the second half when they took the lead. It was just so hype in there, and they were showing fans up on the Jumbotron, and they'd show an Alabama fan, and the entire arena just boo, and then a Robert Morris fan, woo! And I mean, it was just so cool seeing the support for these guys. It was really unfortunate down the stretch. I mean, they took that lead, and honestly, the refs just calling ticky-tacky stuff down the stretch. They went to the line 3 times, and we went up 6 points after that and ended up winning it by 9. So, I mean, who knows if maybe those fouls down the stretch weren't called. Maybe it's a little bit closer of an ending. But, man, just so impressive that they were able to go toe-to-toe with Alabama of all teams.
Yeah, it's been the best story in Pittsburgh sports. I guess it was the best story in Cleveland sports for a day. I love that they got the national shine that they deserve. Andy Toole is just a quality coach, person. The kids on that team, too, getting to know them a little bit this year and watch them do their thing. It's been so much fun. There's no shame in what happened. I don't care if it was the refs or whatever. They showed well against Alabama. They should be plenty proud of themselves. I'm interested what happens with this team next year. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. But they play basketball the right way. There are a lot of they score the ball, they defend, they do the little things. It's an easy, palatable watch. And so for them to have some success against Alabama, I'm with you, Cassidy. I thought maybe they had a chance, taking the lead a little bit more than 7 minutes to go. They're with Alabama basket for basket. Didn't look like it was going to be that way early on. Alabama was kind of pushing the pace and scoring quite a bit. But all in all, a great showing for Robert Morris. I wish our local teams were a little bit more active in the tournament or had some more hope right now, certainly. But Robert Morris did well for itself.
Yeah, and what is the future with this team? I mean, it was very impressive, too, not only this run they had this year, but the way they did it. Andy Toole bringing in 6 new transfers, basically rebuilding the entire roster before this year and proving that if you get the right guys and get them all to buy in, you can make a run with a brand new roster like that. So it was just really impressive. But yeah, what's going to happen now? I mean, a lot of those guys don't have eligibility left, so they'll move on. But Amarian Dickerson, who just lit up that game yesterday, he still has 1, if not maybe even 2 years of eligibility left. So I'm going to be very interested to see where he goes and what he decides to do. But Andy Toole, just so impressive. I mean, 15 years with the same program. And he said after the game last night, this is the best Robert Morris team in school history. So was very lucky to be able to cover that run. And yeah, just such an impressive ride. And who knows what's going to happen now. But it's promising that we've seen a coach be able to use the transfer portal as an asset when so many coaches, I think, are kind of scared of it.
And Andy has to. I mean, that's the thing about a mid-major team like Robert Morris. You don't know what they're going to look like next year. I think 13 of the 15 principal players on Robert Morris's team have eligibility remaining, but if you're a bigger Division I coach and you see Amarion Dickerson and what he did in Cleveland, how do you not want that on your team? You know, Alvaro Folgeras, I always struggle with his name, Cassidy. Please correct me if that's wrong, but the Horizon League Offensive Player of the Year, I mean, somebody could go get him. Cam Woods, same thing. They've got a couple other guys that still have eligibility remaining, DJ Smith, Ryan Prather, some quality basketball players. So these guys are going to be looking for other opportunities. They're probably going to have opportunities ahead of them. Now, Robert Morris does have NIL money. They don't have a ton, but they're going to be able to pay some guys to stay, and I hope they do. I hope that the infusion, or excitement, I should say, results in a bit of an infusion at the Robert Morris program, people signing up for season tickets, going out to Moon Township and supporting the Colonials. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how many players stick around. And Andy Toole, of course, is a story. His alma mater, Penn, has a job opening right now. I would imagine that Andy is intrigued by that. I know he's very happy here at Robert Morris, but his name is going to be bandied about as a very good sort of young coach. He's 44. It's weird that he's been at the job this long. He's still a young guy, but I'll be curious if somebody tries to swoop in and grab him too.
Yeah, I mean, he did take the head coaching job at Robert Morris at 29, which is so impressive, and I don't doubt that schools are going to be reaching out to him. Guys, our poll tonight, if you want to scan your phone up there, get the QR code. Will the Pirates go above 500 this season? That is our live poll tonight. If you guys want to give your feedback, your opinions, what you think, go ahead and vote there. And we are going to get to talking some Pirates. Obviously, Paul Skeens with his final spring outing today. But we do have to go to commercial break, but stick around after this. Give us a call, 412-575-2600, or again, go to that poll and make your voice heard. Let us know what you think about the Pirates. We'll talk some Buccos right after this. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is your Xfinity Mobile tweet of the night. Penn State Wrestling, the Penn State Nittany Lions have officially clinched their 12th NCAA championship under Cale Sanderson and 13th overall. What a ride for Penn State. I mean, they are definitely the juggernaut when it comes to college wrestling. Just so impressive by them. You know, they've had such a run. And I mean, 11 of those 12, by the way, I'm pretty sure since like 2011. So they're just such a juggernaut when it comes to wrestling. So shout out those Lions, just a very, very impressive run. All right, guys, let's talk some Buccos. Paul Skeens today getting his final spring outing. You know, he's obviously getting that start in Miami, which I thought was hilarious, honestly, Jason, how they announced that. Like it was some groundbreaking, you know, breaking news that's happening.
The Pirates could go a different way. I was a little surprised by it, Cassidy. I really was. I was in Bradenton when they announced it. I thought they might go Paul Skeens for the home opener. Just because the Pirates are generally conscious of that, giving their home fans something to cheer about. But, yeah, I mean, when you look at it, how are you going to go wrong starting Paul Skeens in Game 1?
Yeah. Well, and this was his first full spring training with the Pirates. Obviously, he spent some time last year with the minors. And I did listen to an interview he did today with Sportsnet Pittsburgh. And, I mean, he said he feels very good about how spring training went. He was very pleased with how today went. And he's just really excited to start getting to season. I don't know about you, Jace, but I just feel like the spring training has lasted so long.
They're all long.
Yeah.
They're all long. It's insane. I mean, they can do this a lot quicker, but that's a separate conversation. You know what I love about Paul Skeens? How he does not care one bit about the fuss over opening day.
Yeah.
Being down there and seeing him asked about it, like he just does not want to talk about it. He wants to talk about pitching and winning and the Pirates being good and how they're going to improve and all this stuff that's way more important than one day of pomp and circumstance. He has no use for it, and I love that about him.
Yeah, he's definitely not a showboat kind of guy. We've learned that for sure when it comes to Paul Skeens. All right, guys, we have a lot of people calling in right now. Rick from Scottsdale, he wants to talk some Bobby Moe. Rick, what's going on?
I want to say RMU made a statement for themselves because they elevated their basketball game, and I think everybody in the nation knows who they are now. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's the way I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think we opened the show saying that. It was. I mean, they proved that they can hang with the big guys on a national stage. And, you know, like we said, the start of it, yeah, I mean, Alabama kind of came out, bodied them a little bit. I think they were a little bit shell-shocked to start it, to be fair. But I think, you know, after a couple minutes, they started to hit their stride. I think, obviously, Amarian Dickerson, you know, him getting honestly mad and just taking things into his own hands. I think that just sparked a fire for that whole team.
I'm with Rick. They elevated their game on the biggest stage. Go out and support the Colonials. Yeah. Sign up for season tickets. Fun team.
Yes, totally agree. All right, let's go to Chuck in Uniontown. He wants to talk some Pirates. Chuck, what's going on?
Well, thanks, Taz and Jason. No, the Pirates will not finish 500 over. They will not get anywhere close to it. It's just the same story over and over again. Fate does not help the lazy and the stingy. The Pirates had all kinds of opportunities to pick up quality free agents to better their offense this year, to better their team, and they did nothing. The pitching will try as hard as it can. The pitching may be good, although you have to be careful about overestimating them. The pitching will be good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We've said it time and time again. They need big bats, and I don't think they signed anyone in this offseason. And, I mean, today, granted, it's spring training, but they handed the Orioles their first no-hitter since 1954. So, you know, not great by the Pirates offense. And I do think they need to figure it out because, yeah, you're not going to win games solely on pitching as much as, you know, this town really loves their defenses. You're not going to win games that way.
Chuck, I love you, but I disagree with you on this. I think that the Pirates are going to finish over 500. And maybe I'm crazy for thinking it, and that's okay. They do have the pitching. That's the hardest part of baseball. They have that figured out. The offense is going to be better. What hitting coach Matt Haig has done for some of these guys who were in a rough place a year ago. I know they just sent Henry Davis down. I don't think it's the last we've heard of Henry Davis. Jack Sawinski's in a much better place. I think O'Neal Cruz can have even more of a breakout season. I think they're going to be able to cobble together enough offense. It's all going to come down to the bullpen, whether it can perform in crunch time, whether they're able to sort of narrow the focus. That's been a focus of spring training so far, improved fundamental play. I think they get it done. I don't know if they get into the playoffs, but I do think they go to over 500.
Well, fingers crossed. Let's hope they, at least have a winning season. All right, let's go to Bert in Bell Vernon. He wants to talk some Steelers. Bert, what's going on?
Hi, thanks. Yeah, supposedly the Steelers missed Michigan's pro day because Aaron Rodgers came in on Friday. I was wondering if there's a story there. You know, did he insist on coming in a particular day? Is this going to affect the draft? They have that one top-rated defensive tackle I'd like them to take a look at. Is there a story there, I'm wondering?
You know, that's a very good question. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, so he could have reached out and been like, hey, I can only come on this day at this time, and if you guys can't meet me on that day at that time, then the meeting's not going to happen. I could see Aaron Rodgers doing that, and I don't understand why, if that happened, big if, I don't understand why the Steelers are letting Aaron Rodgers just get away with this right now. I mean, I just think it's such a bad look, honestly, Jace.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I don't love it. I'd like him to make a decision. I'd like to know in or out. And yes, the Steelers should set a deadline and say, Aaron, you need to decide by this time. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world missing Michigan's pro day. If you look at a lot of those pro days, I mean, it's not like every NFL team is represented by the head coach and the general manager. I mean, they have scouting staffs. They have people to do that stuff. They also have video. They have the combine. They know about these guys. I mean, yes, you want to go if you can, but Aaron Rodgers, you're talking about a guy you might pay $40 million, as much as I disagree with. I mean, even if they do that, you want to make sure you get that right. You can still draft a defensive tackle in the first round just because you didn't go to his pro day. I mean, it's not like you have to buy a ticket to gain entry. I'm just not that worried about it. It's a little bit weird. It's quirky. It's Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I just hope they get this right.
Those are two very good adjectives to describe both the situation and Aaron Rodgers. Weird and quirky.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Will in McKees Rocks. He wants to talk some Steelers as well. Will, what's going on?
Good evening, folks. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Will.
Hey, Will. Good.
Oh, thanks for taking my call.
I wanted to ask you all your opinion on the quarterback situation as well. As long as I can remember, and I'll be 50 in June, I've never seen the Steelers be backed in such of a corner as they are now. Have you?
No.
Oh, we lost you. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think it's been this way. Look, there's been a quarterback issue ever since Ben retired. We know this. We've been trying to figure out what to do at that, or the Steelers have been trying to figure out what to do at the quarterback position really since Ben left. And I really didn't foresee this happening. Back a couple weeks ago, I thought they would end up just signing Justin Fields, you know, and here now we are. And they are. They seem very backed into a corner, and I don't think I've ever seen this. What about you, Jake?
I'll be real quick, Cassidy. I think this is Mike Tomlin's baby. I think he wants to see this through. I'm a little surprised they've allowed it go on as long as they have, but you made it this far. Finish it.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to head a break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We want to hear your opinions on this quarterback situation, or maybe Skeens and his final spring date or outing today.